Hey friends, I want to share something that's been happening to me this week. I heard the same quote 3 times in 3 days from completely different places. I wasn't looking for it, and it just kept showing up. Every time I felt it before I thought about it. You know when something doesn't feel like new information anymore, it just feels familiar, like it's touching something you already knew but hadn't put words to yet? These moments are called synchronicity. We call them signs or proof that something is happening. But I don't think the emotion comes from the moment itself. I think it comes from what happens inside you when it occurs. Because for a second, your life pauses, and instead of feeling separate from what's happening, you feel included in it. Today, I want to talk about why synchronicity affects us so deeply, why it can bring up emotion, and what it's pointing to when it keeps showing up again and again. Let's cue the reel. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. I saw it online first and thought, ooh, I really like that quote. Then I read it again last night in a Joe Dispenza book I'm reading right now. And the third time today, I heard it in a video from someone I follow. 3 days, 3 places, same sentence. And the third time, I literally screamed. I was in shock. It felt impossible to ignore at this point. I mean, okay, I get it. I'm listening. And that reaction matters because synchronicity doesn't always feel calm or subtle. Sometimes it's loud. Sometimes it's exciting. Sometimes it's that full body yes that shows up before logic can catch up. That quote didn't just feel like advice to me. It felt like a mirror. And that's where synchronicity gets interesting. Because maybe it's not showing up to tell you what to do next. Maybe it's showing up to reflect who you're already becoming. That's what we're getting into today. Here's what I've noticed. Synchronicity isn't just a cool coincidence. It's a moment where your inner world finally meets the outer world in a way you cannot deny. And the reason it feels emotional is because it gives you a response you can feel, a response you can't argue with. That's what's so rare about it. Most of the time, your life is made up of your own thoughts and feelings all swimming around in you, and it just feels like you, alone. But synchronicity shows up and it gives you a different kind of feedback. It gives you proof that you are being heard. It gives you proof that your mind isn't the only thing shaping your life. That's what makes it emotional because you are getting a clear, undeniable response from the universe. So the question becomes, what is your inner world finally aligning with? Because when synchronicity happens, it's not random. It's a pattern, and patterns don't show up for nothing. They show up because something is shifting. Something inside of you is changing. It's a signal that your identity is evolving. Your desires are becoming your reality because your inner self is becoming the version of you that already lives them. When your identity shifts, your life begins to reflect that shift. That's why synchronicity feels emotional. Your body recognizes the change before your mind can explain it. Your inner world is aligning with your outer life, and synchronicity shows up to confirm that alignment. You don't get what you want. You get what you are, and your life is starting to match the person you are becoming. There's research around synchronicity showing something really interesting. You can actually train your attention to notice patterns that match what your thoughts are as well as your desires and your goals. Carl Jung called these meaningful coincidences. He believed they show up when your internal reality and external reality line up. And this isn't only psychology. Some physicists, including a Nobel Prize winner, explored how observation and consciousness interact with reality, suggesting your awareness plays a role in what shows up in your life. So here's why this matters. Synchronicity shows you what you're aligned with. It shows you what your inner world is already creating. And when you notice it, you get a clear signal about where your energy is going. That's how manifestation becomes a real, lived experience, not just a concept. So, how do we get more of it? How do we get more synchronicity? The first step is quieting the mind so you can see the signals. Synchronicity shows up when your inner world is quiet enough to notice the outer world. So the first step is simple. Slow down. Even a 2-minute pause or a short walk without being on your phone is enough. When your mind is quieter, the world starts to speak back. Step 2 is notice the patterns. You start seeing the same symbol, the same message, the same theme over and over. At the beginning of the month for me, I kept seeing the letters GV over and over on license plates, at least once a day, sometimes 2 to 3 times. It was nuts. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew it meant something. So after 2 weeks of this, I decided to do a simple experiment. I Googled, what does GV stand for? The first result that popped up, good vibes. And I was like, okay, wow, thank you. That's what synchronicity is doing. It's pointing you to something you're meant to notice. Step 3 is move toward the signal. Once you start seeing the pattern, you don't just observe it, you respond to it. You engage with it. Every time I see GV now, I get this instant reminder that I'm in a good vibration and I smile this huge grin. It's not a coincidence, it's a sign, and you have to choose to follow it. Synchronicity is a skill you can develop. You quiet your mind, notice the patterns, and then you move toward the signal. And as I said, the more you do it, the more the universe starts talking back. Now, here's what synchronicity gives you. A way to see your inner world reflected in the world around you. A way to know you're moving in the right direction without needing proof from anyone else. A way to feel the universe responding to you. Because once you start noticing it, you begin to trust your own guidance more. Now, if you want to build this into your life, here's the simplest next step. Make a habit of recognizing the patterns. When something repeats, say it out loud. Write it down. Treat it like a breadcrumb from your future self. That's how you turn synchronicity into a real practice. If you're feeling this episode and you want more of this kind of clarity, the best way to support the show is simple. Leave a quick review. Even a few words. Your review helps the podcast reach more people who are trying to get unstuck. And it also helps me know what you want more of. Thank you for listening today, and thank you for showing up for yourself. Remember, your future self is always calling. Are you going to pick up?